the moment the officiant paused mid-vow, his eyes flicking toward the garden entrance with a flicker of unease. I knew my perfect day was about to shatter like fine crystal under a hammer's blow. There, in the golden haze of the San Francisco sunset, with the Bay Bridge twinkling in the distance, my security chief, ex-Marine, unflappable as they come, leaned in and whispered words that iced my veins. Your estranged family is at the gate. They're demanding entry. Claiming emergency. 20 years. 2 decades of absolute radio silence. Not a single card, call, or crumb of concern. And now, on the day I'd scripted to honor the life I'd forged without them, they slithered back like weeds through cracked concrete. My name is Sophia Reed, and for the first 23 years of my existence, I was the shadow in a family that gleamed like polished silver to the outside world. Growing up in the leafy suburbs of Chicago, in a brick Tudor home with manicured lawns and holiday lights that outshone the neighbors, we were the envy of the block. Dad was a top-tier financial advisor, steering fortunes for the city's elite. Mom owned a high-end interior design firm, turning drab spaces into magazine spreads. My older brother, Alex, was the golden lacrosse captain, scholarship-bound. My sister, Lauren, aced every debate club meet, destined for Ivy League glory. And me? I was the afterthought. The one cropped just a bit too tightly in family snapshots, like an extra who'd wandered onto the set uninvited. I can still taste the bitterness of my 12th birthday, the one Mom swore would be epic. With a backyard carnival tent, cotton candy machine, and invites to every kid in my class. I'd picked out a sparkly blue jumper that made me feel invincible. But that afternoon, Alex twisted his ankle at practice, and suddenly the family SUV was rerouted to the ER. The tent stayed folded in the garage, the cake melted in the heat. Family comes first. Honey, Mom cooed, barely glancing my way. You get that, right? But deep down, even then, I wondered if I truly counted as family. The clues were scattered like breadcrumbs I was too young to follow, my baby album starting abruptly at age 3. The awkward pauses when I quizzed them about my first steps. The relatives' offhand remarks like, given the circumstances, when praising my report cards, which were stellar, yet never quite stellar enough. Alex could coast with C's and get high fives for effort. Lauren bombed one test and got hugs for unfair grading. Me? Straight A's earned a curt, be thankful for what you've got. The bomb dropped the month after Grandpa's funeral. I was 23, fresh from undergrad, grinding at an entry-level marketing gig in a downtown firm. We convened in the probate attorney's oak-paneled office for the will reading. Dad inherited the stock portfolio. Mom got the antique china set. Alex snagged the classic Corvette. Lauren claimed the lake house in Michigan. Me, a sapphire necklace and a sealed manila envelope. Inside, my original birth certificate and adoption decree. My birth name was Sophie Hayes. Born to a teenage mom who'd relinquished me at 3. The woman I'd called Mom was actually her distant aunt, who'd stepped in as a favor when foster care loomed. The air in that room turned to lead. I lifted my gaze, hands trembling, to find them all staring not with remorse or warmth, but with irritated impatience. As if Grandpa had pulled a cruel prank by unearthing this skeleton. We've given you the world, Dad barked, his tone laced with frost. A roof. Schooling. Our name, and you dare look betrayed. I'm not. I'm just. I stammered, the words choking me. Absorbing it. Nothing to absorb, Mom snapped, her designer nails tapping the table. You've always been ungrateful. Always demanding more. Now it makes sense, you never truly belonged. Tainted roots show eventually. Tainted roots. 2 decades of feeling like an outsider. distilled into that venomous phrase. The explosion that followed scorched everything. I demanded answers. Why the secrecy? Why take me in if resentment simmered beneath? They hurled back every sacrifice, every tuition check, every grudging holiday inclusion. Alex sneered I should have been grateful not to rot in the system. Lauren mused aloud that maybe everyone would have been happier if I had. Dad sealed it. If gratitude's too hard, you're out. No more leeching off us. I stumbled out with $8,000 from my savings and that sapphire necklace glinting like a mocking eye. Grandpa's final nod that someone had seen me as kin. As I revved my rusty Toyota toward the highway, I swore an oath to the empty road. I'd rise so high they'd choke on regret for discarding me. Little did I know, 20 years on, they'd resurface not with apologies, but with palms outstretched, sniffing my hard-won fortune like sharks to chum. I pointed the car west, landing in Seattle with my meager belongings and a fire that wouldn't quit. $8,000 evaporated fast amid skyrocketing rents. I crammed into a dingy walk-up in Capitol Hill, bunking with shift workers whose dramas bled through paper-thin walls. I juggled days as a data analyst temp and nights slinging drinks at a tech-heavy bar in Belltown, surviving on bar nuts and black coffee, hoarding every dime not swallowed by bills. While my ex-family flaunted Alex's promotion and Lauren's bar exam triumph on social media, I buried myself in online courses, fintech algorithms, app development, free webinars on venture capital. The pivot hit 8 months in. At a FinEx summit I'd scrimped for months to attend. Bleary-eyed from double shifts, I posed a query on AI-driven fraud detection that halted the keynote speaker, Dr. Elena Vasquez, in her tracks. "Stick around," she murmured. Elena became my lifeline, the mentor my so-called mom never was, sharp, supportive, spotting my raw edge. "You connect dots others overlook," she said over diner pie. "That's innate, not schooled." She looped me into her circle, refined my pitch deck. My concept? An app that preempted financial scams using adaptive AI, flagging anomalies before they bled accounts dry. I shopped it to 32 VCs. 31 slammed doors, citing my youth. No name degree. Sparse track record. One sneered, "You don't fit the founder mold." The 32nd was Victor Klein, a maverick seed investor who'd struck gold backing underdogs. We met at a hole-in-the-wall faux joint, his pick. He slurped broth through my spiel, silent for an hour. "You're fueled by rage," he observed at last. "Rage builds empires. Here's $300K. Make it count." I didn't squander a cent. 16-hour days morphed into 20. I coded the prototype solo. Too broke for hires. My shoebox apartment doubled as HQ. I napped on the floor, dreamed in code snippets, socialized via forum threads. 3 years later, FraudGuard debuted with 5 bank clients. Press hailed it game-changing. By year 4, we'd snagged 20 blue-chip partners. Year 6, 100 employees. 8-figure buyout bids I swatted away. "Why not cash out?" Victor pressed in a strategy session. "I'm building legacy," I shot back. Unspoken, not visible enough yet to eclipse their dismissal. By decade's end, FraudGuard hit $1 billion valuation. I keynote TED Talks, graced Fortune covers, snapped up a $15 million spread in Medina, not for the opulence, but as a silent scream to those who dubbed me tainted. I stalked it with allies turned kin, CEO Jamal, who'd bet on my vision pre-revenue, lead dev Anita, who ditched Amazon for my gamble, Elena, who graced every gathering, proclaiming me the child she'd wished for. Success didn't erase the scars, though. Insomnia nights still echoed with Mom's Barb, tainted roots show. But she was half right, my roots were different. Resilient. The kind that cracked foundations. Soon, they'd taste that strength firsthand. The wedding was my pinnacle, after 3 years with Ryan, a neurosurgeon who matched my grind. We orchestrated a flawless affair at the Olympic Club. 80 guests handpicked the builders, the believers, the ones who'd witnessed Sophia Reed's ascent. Not the cast-off from Chicago. The terrace ceremony overlooked Puget Sound, my custom Oscar de la Renta gown hugged like armor. Ryan teared up as Elena escorted me down the aisle, the mom I'd selected over the one who'd ejected me. Vows midway. Security head Marcus materialized. Face grim. Intruders at the perimeter. Your biological family. Insisting on access. Family crisis. The ground lurched. 20 years of ghosting. And they picked now. Not invited, Marcus added. Escort out. Eyes drilled into us, investors murmuring. Friends frowning. The cast-off girl in me wanted flight. But the CEO in me straightened. Stash them in the lounge. Discreetly. Ryan gripped my hand. Sophia. No, 5 minutes post-ceremony. I turned to the crowd. Voice steel. Minor AV glitch. Grab cocktails. We'll resume. Murmurs rippled as they filed out. Elena approached. What's haunting you? Phantoms, I replied. Striding toward confrontation. Ryan shadowing. They huddled by the bay window, for relics from a buried past. Mom. Her chic faded to thrift store drab. Dad. His advisor's polish eroded to weary slump. Alex. The athlete bloated into defeat. Lauren. Her sharpness blunted to resentment. Their eyes raked over my gown. Ryan's Patek. The room's luxury, like appraisers at an estate sale. Sophia, Mom exhaled. Advancing. I recoiled. 3 minutes. Clock's ticking. That's no welcome for blood, Dad huffed. Feigning command. Blood's outside. Toasting my future. You're intruders with shared genes. Lauren's tears glistened, rehearsed. Precise. We've ached for you. I barked a laugh. Ached for what? Ignored holidays? Or my net worth? Unfair, Alex cut in. We're reconciling. No. You're extracting. 2 minutes. Glances darted, Mom pleaded, errors were made. But kin rallies in hardship. Whose? Ryan interjected softly. Masks cracked. Revealing raw need. Dad squared up. We're sunk. Firms belly up. House foreclosing. Alex unemployed. Lauren split nasty. Help us. There, not remorse. But requisition. Time's up, I pivoted. Mom clutched my sleeve, Marcus loomed. But I halted him. Post-wedding. My HQ. 8 a.m. I wrenched free. They filed in early next day. Dwarfed by Fraudguard's glass atrium and the abstract sculpture a rising eagle I'd commissioned. I delayed till 8:20, petty payback for decades of disregard. In my penthouse office. Sound view sprawling. They gawked at the Warhol. The Eames. The panorama. Sit, I commanded. Ryan flanked the window, attorney Carla beside. Recorder blatant. Necessary. Dad eyed it. For beggars posing as kin. Yes. Lauren winced. We're not beggars, we're blood. Blood calls. Blood remembers. You severed that tie when you learned I wasn't. Alex protested. I slapped down a binder of archived posts. Emails, proof of their erasure. 2 kids only, holiday snaps sans me. Silence thickened. Mom croaked, we erred. But we're ruined. Quantify ruined. Confessions cascaded. Dad's advisory tanked amid ethics probe, not criminal. But career killing. Alex's firings trailed shortcuts and credit theft. Lauren's divorce exposed her fling. Prenup gutting her. Mom's design biz folded to e-commerce giants. Foreclosure imminent, Dad wrapped. Sold heirlooms. Nest egg vaporized. And your ask. For $1 million. I guffawed. Snap of fingers? Saves the home. Debts. Restart, Dad rushed. Pocket change for you. What I have. Scraped from zero after your boot. You chose exile, Alex argued. Post your tainted roots slur. Foster quip. I paced to the vista. First Seattle years? Ramen diets. All-nighters. Thrift rags to pitches. We didn't realize, Lauren began. Because indifference. I wheeled. For $1 million? Treat as deal. Collateral. Confusion reigned. We're kin, Mom whimpered. Forfeited. Offer equity? Labor? Value? Dad, reunite. Support. Got that sand strings. Why meet then? Alex snarled. My boardroom grin flashed. To deny you eye to eye. Mom dissolved. Well, homeless, I was at 23. Adapt. Lauren wailed. Billions. And you doom us. My kins built. Not begged. Dad begged. We nurtured 21 years. Counts. Hope flickered. It does for zilch. Mirroring your valuation of me. Crumbles ensued. But I wasn't finished, a darker play brewed. One that could liberate or corrode me. Alternative. Full financial autopsy. I slid a dense contract. Assets. Liabilities. 5 years transactions. My auditors verify. Dad balked, intrusive. Business. Or exit. Huddle. Whispers. Need trumped dignity. They inked. Blind to the probe clause greenlighting deep dives, taxes. Dealings. All. 72 hours later. Auditor's dossier landed. I scanned twice. Summoned Carla, prosecutable. Ironclad, Dad's bogus deductions. 8 years. Alex's UI fraud amid gigs. Lauren siphoned $50K from her nonprofit. Mom's deposit dodges skirt laundering. Arsenal complete. One tip-off. And they'd face Fed time. Re-meet tomorrow, I instructed. Amp security. Ryan found me terrace-bound that eve. City aglow. You could pay off. Banish. Beyond that now. Justice? Or vendetta? Sapphire twisted. Grandpa's bequest. Blurs. They arrived expectant. I doled evidence stacks. Pallor spread as pages turned. Prison fodder, I intoned. IRS loves creative math. Dad. Labor on Alex. Fed offense for charity skim. Lauren. You trapped us, Mom hissed. Your sins. Unearthed. I circled. New pact. Liquidate assets for debts. IRS plans. Restitution. Lauren. Eternal no contact. Extortion, Alex growled. Choice, sign. Freedom, refuse. Prosecute. Vicious, Lauren wept. We're blood. Were. Now felons with my chromosomes. Dad rose. Shattered. House aid. Mortgage cleared. Breach contact? FBI gets all. You jail parents? Mom queried. You exiled a 23-year-old for non-blood. Lesson learned. Blood's worthless. They capitulated. What option? As they shuffled out. Mom pivoted. Savor vengeance? Not vengeance, clemency. Your brand. Freedom sans dignity. Post-exit. Carla compliant. Must. I hold their liberty. House paid that day. I wired Grandpa's Sapphire to a fund. Grants for disowned adoptees' tuition. Stipends. Guidance. 50 million seed. Generous, accountant noted. Equity, I countered. Transmuting venom to cure. They breached weeks later. Doorstep at midnight. Evading gates. Ryan intercepted. Depart. Sophia now Mom rasped. I emerged. Dialing Marcus. 30 seconds pre-cops. FBI clause. Dad blurted. House saved. But med debts. Alex's lymphoma. Stage 4. Therapy's crushing. Not mine. Finger hovered. He's fading, Mom shrieked. Brother. Not your decree. Alex advanced. Gaunt in floodlight, not begging. Apologizing. Pre-diagnosis. Regrets mount. Lawyer's day tops. Foster jab? Jealous idiocy, you outshone Sans blood. Cough racked him. Family's presence. Not genes. We failed. Air congealed. Ryan studied me. Cost? $700K experimental. Uncovered. Bitter chuckle. Still currency. No, Alex insisted. Mom dragged. I'm peacebound. Can't lose him, Mom pleaded. For him. Not us. I appraised the wreckage, Mom's bias-cracked shell. Dad's stripped ego. Lauren's void. Alex's decay. Carla drafts med packed tomorrow. Direct hospital pays. No updates. No leverage. Breach? Prison. Plus, confess publicly all kin. Pals. The erasure. Rejection. Shame, Dad objected. Reckoning. They assented. Next on. Carla prepped. They'll slip. Their rope. I inked, not kin-saving. Proving I'm unlike. Costs ballooned to $1.2 million, bargain for divergence proof. Hours later. Lauren's viral post. Full saga adoption. Ousting. Silence. Plea. My med mercy. Backlash surged. Relatives outrage. Apologies flooding my inbox. A Colorado call. Aunt Lydia. Dad's sib. Saw the expose. Sorry I didn't probe your vanishing. You've kin here, cousins. Nieces. If open. Chest fissured, not fracture. Bloom. Perhaps. Grandpod beam, you're stellar. Post-call. In Empire's hush. Sapphire gleamed. They'd sought funds, gifted closure. Alex's regimen kicked off. I tracked invoices. Not else. Live or perish. I'd extended what they withheld. Presence in crisis. Sans duty. By choice. 3 months mute. Bills ticked. Immuno. Rads. Trials costing fortunes. Paid sans note, each a self-affirmation. Elena texted a Chicago headline. Family hails tech mogul daughter for son's lifeline. Photo. Them hospital side. Alex upright. Pact shattered. Rage? Absent. Exhale instead. Decades held breath freed. Ryan that night, violation. Could crush. He waited. Irony, they peg it cash power. But it was self-proof to wrong audience. Sapphire spun. Prove to me alone. Dawn. Carla, release pact. Shred evidence. Sure. Done judging. Their fate's theirs IRS. Choices. Sans my blade. Afternoon letter, final missive. Breach noted. No pursuit, not mercy deserved. Peace earned. Meds continue till end or unneeded. Post? Solo. Gift unintended, drive proving worth to irrelevant judges. Succeeded despite. Not for. Mercy not absolution, my liberty. No contact, not threat. Closure. Strangers to a ghosted girl. Wounds fact. Not ache. Well. Better. Gone. Sophia. Sent. Blocked all. Elena whined that eve, feel. Unshackled. Squatters evicted, success mine pure. To transcendence. Night. Office survey, plaques. IPs. Dignitary snaps. Built by the floor sleeper. Penny pincher. Code blurry girl who opted creation over crumble. Sapphire boxed in safe, not forgetting grandpa. Embodying his sight, transcendence alchemy. Breakfast with true kin, Ryan. Elena. Jamal. Anita, chatter on Jamal's son's t-ball. Anita's honeymoon. Lighter, Anita observed. Shed baggage. Jamal toasted, to baggage cut. Chains vaporized. Chicago quartet faced repercussions sans my hand. Seattle. A woman outgrew hers. 5 years since that letter, bliss untainted. Fraudguard IPO'd at $3 billion. I rang NYSE with Ryan and our 3-year-old. Sapphire, nod to the seer of my value. Elena steadied her tiny hand on the bell. Echo, milestone. Mundane. Them? Oblivion, no searches. No cares. Reporters probe the rejection tale. I pass. That narrative closed with freedom's choice. Fund empowered 400 castoffs, told unworthy. Now thriving. I mentor some. Echoing Elena, worth self-defined. By becoming. Not unloved. Last week. Mentee Mia, shunned for art over law, walked Stanford stage. You rescued me. You did. I funded the path. Tonight. Anita's vows in our garden, same space ghosts once invaded. Now joy's domain. Sapphire toddles petal strewn. Ryan whirls her. Her glee slicing dusk. Mama, she beams. Grubby. Adored sans condition. Elena sidles, cycle snapped. She'll never doubt belonging. Music swells, Anita glows toward her forever. Chosen kin, nurtured. Treasured. Sunset gilds the sound rose. Amber. Phone note for Sapphire, darling. Families no blood dictate. No birth fluke. Its presence. Persistence. Recalls. Cheers. Comforts. Repeated choice. Love trumps blood thickest bond. DJ cues toast, I lift flute to chosen bonds. The stairs. Echoes ring. Fireworks burst afar, serendipity. Cosmic nod. Ryan's clasp. Sapphire's frosting smear. Kin's mirth, my vengeance, a plenitude drowning old voids. Triumph, self-worth sands their nod. Finale, indifference to their grasp. I am Sophia Reed. Discarded. I fueled ascent. Tainted dubbed. Turned platinum. Erased. I crafted epic. Their favor? Liberation to boundless life over their confines. Bay light. Garden love wrapped. Free utterly.